Hey guys, Nolen and Jason here with HVAC Webmasters.
Howdy.
Today is welcome to the big show of HVAC Marketing Online.
Woo! Well,
Is that big show?
yeah, that's the beginning of Big Show's entrance music on WWE. Although
Like-
he's in
like you make me want to shout, wayo.
No, it's well, it's the Big Show. Of course, he's
All right.
with AEW now, and he doesn't get that music anymore because he doesn't go by the
Was
Big
it-
Show name anymore.
Oh, they
'Cause he
owned
went-
that.
Yeah, the WWE does that with everybody.
Oh, that
Any wrestler
sucks.
that comes in, they change their name,
That sucks.
give them their own music so that they own the image and
That's
the
too
person.
bad.
They've
That's too
always
bad.
done that.
Yeah. Anyway, so the big show. I'll tell the story real quick of the guy that
Right.
started this. All right, so I'm on the phone with the guy. Jason's heard the story before, but I'm telling it for your benefit. And I used to get angry at this stuff, or upset about. Well, it still upsets me. It still upsets me. But I was listening to.
You're better at hiding it when you're talking to them. Yeah.
I'm not trying to hide it, Jason. I'm trying to just be a better person and less, less irritated at stuff. So I'm listening to Tony Robbins. He's talking to this guy about how to let things go, so that you don't get upset at everything, right?
Right.
And so I don't want to live a bad life just because I can't control my damn self, Anyway, so this guy says, "So Nolen, you just do Google?" And I'm like, and it's my trigger. That's like one of my triggers,
The
right?
J word.
Yeah.
Just is a 4-letter word.
And I'm like, and so I take a breath, and I'm on the phone with him. I take a little breath, and I'm like, and the word Big Show comes to mind. And I said, hey, we do like Google, true. We will help you with paid. We might help you with social media. But yeah, I like Google because 87% of people go to Google to search for home services, and 70+% of those people click on a non-paid item. So what I'd like to propose to you, that's very true, is that Google is the big show. And you, sir, have been going after scraps of
Right.
leads. And so you have no idea or any reference point of what life would be like if you got to participate in the big show. Second reason I do all this is because when I get someone on the big show, where they're in Pack 3 mapping for hundreds of keywords and up in top 10 for thousands, they tend to stay with me for years.
Yeah.
And if I go sell
They're
you...
successful and
Yeah.
they stay.
Right.
Yeah. That's simple math.
And so when I described it as the big show, and I wasn't thinking of the wrestler, but I was just, but I may have been influenced by that, I'm sure. But when I described it as that to him, I feel like he had and I'm like, I don't have anything against what you've done in your life and business, but in my opinion, you've missed the boat, which
Yeah.
I'd call the big show.
Right.
So you're saying, do I just do this? No, I don't just do this. But when we get people to work
you
out
just
here,
do those things.
yeah, you just do those things, and you don't understand what this is, nor have you ever participated in it. And if I help you with your paid ads only, like you called and asked me for, you're angry and upset within 3 to 6 months,
Right.
and you're 85%.
Like you already are, because that's why you're calling.
That's what I told him. That's what I told him.
And 3 to 6 months, you're going to be going on to the next guy to do the same thing. Yeah.
I said, in fact, you're calling me because your rate of return on paid is so poor that you got upset and called me. But I'm not telling you what you want to hear because you keep doing the same things you've always done.
Right.
But I'm not going to do that with you because I've done this for 12 years and know what I'm doing, and I'm one of the few digital marketing agencies that can actually help you.
And I'll tell you the truth about it.
But I don't tell you everything you want to hear.
Right.
It's time for you to join the big show and to get serious and get up and running, and it needs to go down this way. So, and I had a good conversation with him, but he was too rooted in his narrative or whatever
Right.
to do it. So, the big show is showing up organically.
Right. That's brand. That's not just keywords. It's brand and entity and all that other stuff we've talked about
No,
before.
Jason's bullshit is just reviews on Google Maps.
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
It's just reviews. Hey, listen, I don't need you guys because I'm going to go get 300 reviews and break the
I got a
algorithm.
call from a guy who said he's going to fake 500 reviews for me. I had that call the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, you're going to get banned.
Yeah.
you're going to lose your Google business profile,
Right.
and you're going to be royally screwed.
So
Don't do that.
I was being sarcastic, obviously, but reviews it's not just one thing, is what Jason
You
was
need
saying.
reviews, but reviews is one of 1,000 things you need to do.
It's 1,000 things that might get checked by Google. We personally take care of a few hundred.
Yeah,
we know of.
I should have said that need to be done, not that you need to
that
do
get
personally. Yeah.
that get monitored by the algorithm.
Right.
We only check a few hundred or so.
Yeah.
Like we don't know everything that Google checks. Nobody does on the algorithm.
Yeah.
But we do as many things as we've learned over 12 years, and that in turn denotes your online presence along with stuff that you do as well.
Right.
But design, code, content, regular work reviews, captions, geo coordinates, reputation,
Everything.
signaling,
Yeah.
BBB reviews as well. All that, all that coming together determines how well your organic rankings come in. People make statements to me. I'll give you some other thoughts on this and why people's brains are so screwed up with it. They're like, they think that it's just the map. They're like, well, it's just the map. Mapping is all of it. Or Nolen, but after the paid, it's just the mapping. And they're telling me, I said, no. And they'll say, and they'll stop. I said, every once in a while I'll say, well, that was a lot that you said right then. And I'll address it one at a time. But first I'd like to say, you're completely wrong about all of it. You're absolutely wrong about everything that you just said.
Yeah.
And so what
is it? Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi? That's impressive. Every word you just said was wrong.
Mine's more of a Ricky Bobby type, but I won't put myself up with Luke Skywalker. More Talladega Nights about it, but anyway, yeah. So I'll go into it with them, and they'll stop. But I'm trying to stop them. They're like, no, because it's not just. It is wrong entirely.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you don't get this, you're never gonna get this. You're never gonna get to participate in the big shows. So because they'll say, well, Nolan, as far as I understand it, you just put a website up. That doesn't matter anymore. Nobody goes to those. And then most people get paid on ads, and if they get past the ads, which everybody's clicking on, they might make it to the maps, but that's about it. So I'm going to get reviews, get my maps up, right? And I'm like, no, dude, bro, you're wrong as hell.
Yeah, everything you just said is wrong.
Everything you said was wrong. And so people view it that way, and then they never get up in the big show. I want to say something else about the big show. I said this one on another one. The big show, people say, well, and they get their narrative in their head, and I'll debunk that with the actual numbers again in just a second. And they say, well, it doesn't matter. You go get reviews and all this stuff. I have to buy leads. It's Yelp and AngelList and Home Advisor are the ones up in ranking. Google gives it all to them. And then I'm lucky if I show up in some ranking, and then that's where the leads come from. And like, no, man, that's not it.
That's 100% wrong.
That's 100% wrong. And so people will, and then they'll also say, well, the guys that are up there, so they'll negate all of it.
Right.
But the HVAC companies that are online kicking ass and high up in map ranking, high up in organic ranking, are the ones they want to be like in the exact spots they claim don't work.
Yeah.
So what'd you say, cause and causation, or
they're confusing cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
They think that HVAC company is up there because they're the big player.
Right.
But no, they're the big player because they're up there.
Right.
They did the work to get up high in ranking, and that's why they become the big player.
Right.
Or if this is like a company that's been in business since before the internet, that's why they got to stay the big player. Because we have seen companies that existed pre-internet, and then their business went down, and they call us, and it's like, we used to do great with TV or radio or word of mouth, and everything changed, and we're not doing so well anymore. And they used to be the number one guy in the area, and now they're struggling.
So people are getting results now and don't respect Google enough for it. I've got a phenomenal story I forgot to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Jason's been out of town. All kinds of cool shit happens every time, but we did miss you, by the way. Did miss
Thank
you.
you.
Well, no, you know
Can
what?
you tell I got a little sun?
A
Little bit.
little bit. I don't blame you for being careful.
Yeah, I slather on the sunscreen.
We're old and white.
Yeah.
Got to be careful. You could come back looking like a lobster and get skin cancer or something.
We were so careful, not even my wife got burned, and she gets burned if she walks from the house to the car.
Yeah.
So we were like slathering on sunscreen, and we had a beach tent and the whole thing.
It was hot here. I think you escaped a tiny bit of that.
If you were on the beach, it was fine, but just inland, it was like in Corpus Christi last week, it was only like 92 degrees, but the heat index was 109 because the humidity was 100%.
Well, we were 108 here in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It was sizzly. It was sizzly. Nolen Walker here for Data Pins. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called Data Pins, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapins.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software, and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs, up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients, direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by Data Pins, and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords, and remember those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out Data Pins. I think you'll be happy you did. But all right, so this is one thing. First, let me go back and say, this mindset is so screwed up, and you explained why it's so screwed up.
Yeah.
And if Google didn't work for them, come off of Google. And I'm going to tell a story here in a second, because it's a fantastic story. Fantastic story. And this guy won't buy because he's not in the right headspace. But it's a fantastic story about a 1-star Google review. Somebody gonna sue Google.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so they called me. Yeah. And so most people, I think I said it earlier, but over 70% of people click on a non-paid item.
Right.
People don't believe it. I don't care if you don't believe it. That's your problem.
It's still true.
That's your problem if you don't believe that over 70% of people click on a non-paid item on Google, which is called organic, non-paid, meaning not a Google guaranteed ad, not a PPC ad, not a PPC plugged into the map.
Right. And just to make the point, why would Google publish that statistic? Because that makes people less likely to buy ads. If everybody's clicking on ads, Google's going to say that so that you buy ads.
That statistic is harder to find now, and you can find it on DuckDuckGo, by the way. We hadn't talked about that before.
But it's out there. Google doesn't suppress it or anything. Well, okay, never mind.
It's hard to find now. But anyway, but you can find it on other platforms and stuff. Okay, so just something I realized the other day, by the way. I never talked to you about it. But so anyway, the vast majority of clicks coming from this, and then people say, well, ABC HVAC's up there, and Joe's HVAC's up there, but they've been around forever. I can't get up there. And it doesn't work anyway. Everybody clicks on paid ads first, and then if they do make it down, it's map only. And map's only affected by reviews, which I do myself. Even though I have a lot of reviews that don't show up in map ranking, they just play favoritism to these other people. And
there's always some conspiratorial thing of why they're not up there.
There's all these reasons.
It's never their effort. It's always some unfair thing.
So what you're telling me is the people that you want to emulate, that you want to be like, are all participating hardcore, in fact, dominate the big show.
Right.
And are huge because of the big show, not because they're huge.
Right.
If they were, how the hell, where do you think they're getting the business from? Oh, they've just been around forever. No, their clients died. They've been around for 30 years. Yellow Pages doesn't work. Print doesn't work. TV doesn't work. Social media doesn't work.
The big show works.
The big show on Google works.
Right.
And that's where they stinking are. So if you had any narrative or any willful ignorance in your head about the whole thing, just wipe it away, because it's going to hold you back.
Right.
So I've been listening. I've been checking that a lot now, because I'm reading a Tony Robbins book right now, Life Force, and the guy, and I love this guy Jordan Peterson, but and I think even Gary Vaynerchuk or whatever, all those guys basically say, hey, whether you like it or not, you're in a show, and at the end of the show, you die.
Right.
And it doesn't matter.
Nobody gets out alive.
Nobody gets out alive. You might as well put on the biggest show you can, and it doesn't matter if you have this wrong in your head. If you don't fight for it, you're going to die with less than you would have because you didn't fight for it. You didn't go for it, and that's sad to me. And I wish I'd have fought more. The older you get, I think the more you want to get up and fight and do stuff because you realize it, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're like 25 or 35, you'd better get on it right now. Yeah.
Because otherwise, the next 25 years vanishes and you're 50, and oh crap, I better get on.
I've got one client that's on point that's 26 years old, but I've said before, no offense, because I would put myself in this category. Jason may or may not. If he was honest, he probably would.
Oh no, I do. Yeah.
But most men before the age of 25 are just punk asses.
Yeah.
And that means you have low self-esteem because you have no experience. And then you gain experience but in everything, and you get better. But the older you get, the more experience you get. You always wish you'd have done stuff faster.
Right.
But men usually before a certain age aren't able to put everything else together through lack of experience. And the lack of experience gives them low self-esteem and holds them back.
Right.
But all this narrative bullshit that keeps people from getting into the big show is extremely damaging. And part of it is false narrative crap from propaganda from funneling systems or lead companies.
Yeah.
So software or lead companies, and you're like, oh, I can't do anything to buy a lead. No, that's the lead companies that give you propaganda that say you need to buy a lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit self-serving.
Okay,
you didn't finish your story.
Let me tell you a story because
we keep getting off
it was
track.
slightly getting boring, so I'll tell you a story real quick. So guy calls up. This is a guy with a 2-page website I talked about earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he had a lot of stuff going on. He was older, for one thing. So that's the other problem. Men at a certain age can't get shit done. Men at an older age can't get shit done.
Because they won't accept new ideas.
They won't accept new ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about anybody that works here with equal opportunity.
Well, I mean, we're the oldest people in the company.
True that.
So.
True that. But I'm talking about noticing just clients I deal, people I look at and notice. This isn't even a stereotype. It's just like I can write this down and show you in statistical data. So this guy was older, and he was a nice enough guy. He's high energy, northeastern guy, high energy, and he's like, Nolen, I work on this site. Well, you do this, do that, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do all that. And he said, well, listen, I got a problem here. This guy comes up to my door. And he had run across another company salesman, basically.
Okay.
And he boasted that he owned a company and sent the sales guy on his way. Sales guy, he claims, gives him a 1-star review on a fake account. And he's pissed because he did, to his credit, he had 75 5-star reviews. And he said, I need this off here. And I said, well, it's probably not coming off.
Yeah, no.
Probably not going to come off. He said, but it's fake. And I'm like, so? And I said, well, I got 75 good reviews. I can't stand it. Because that's why I told you that.
Yeah.
No offense against Northeastern guys, but he's like, I'm a little agitated today, but compared to somebody from the Northeast, they're like, Nolen's mellow as hell. But for Texas, I'm like, slow down, buddy. But I'm barely kind of going a little bit, but this guy's like popping his whole life, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what state he was from, but he was like New Jersey maybe or something. So he's going and he's rared up, right? And he's like, this is ridiculous. They're not even real. I can't drive me crazy. I said, so you've worked hard on your Google account? He said, yeah. And I said, Google's algorithm missed a bad review. He said, yeah, they did. I said, and you want to sue them?
He said he was going to sue Google to get rid of the review.
It's like, so wait a minute. I said, let me get this straight. I said, have you done well with Google? He said, yeah, I've done well. I'm going to relate it back to the big show and the Pack 3 and everybody claiming it doesn't work. Well, take your damn website off of Google then. And I said, I'll tell you what, Joe, I got an idea for you. I said, I'll fix all this right now. And I told him all this. I said, take your shit off of Google. F them.
Shut down your business profile. Take down your website.
But he said, well, I said, screw them. Screw them and show them a lesson. And I was like, and he said, well, I said, I thought you were mad at them. This ethical breach. And he said, well, I said, Joe, have you not made millions off of Google for being up there? Because this guy did show up a little bit. And he said, but he won in the Pac 3 all the time.
Yeah.
But he showed up a little bit, and he I mean, to the point that he coveted these 75 5-star reviews because they made him some money.
He knew how much they were.
He wasn't anywhere near the big show like what we do with clients, but he made damn good money off of what he had.
He had
going.
gotten up to second stage at Lollapalooza, but he wasn't main stage yet. But he could see main stage and taste what it would be like.
Whatever that means, but okay. Yeah, so
somebody out there knows what I'm talking
knows
about.
what you're talking about. Hey there, guys. Nolan Walker here for HVAC Webmasters. Glad you're listening to the podcast, but I'd like you to become a client. We're a digital marketing agency that have done this for 12 years. I don't think there's anybody better than us at this point in time. We will help you with your design, your code, your content, showing up as high as we can on Google ranking, your organic ranking, your map ranking, your reputation, your reviews. Our digital marketing agency will help you be the best possible online. We can help you with all of it, even paid. We even have a software company called DataPens that's proprietary. We made it for you guys. You can take 90 seconds and do a pin on each job. We call them data pins, and it'll grab the geo coordinate where you're located. It looks like a little red pin drop, but to Google it looks like a digital hand raise. This helps them see where you're working. So if someone doesn't give you a review, they've got this with photos of the job that count as unique content and a caption. Let's say it's Linux air handler replacement with Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat. This is additional content that's literally going to drop on the individual service and city pages on the website and expand your keyword search ability. It's crazy how cool DataPens is combined with the SEO and digital marketing agency services of HVACwebmasters.com. Guys, check us out. We'd love to hear from you. So the guy, I said, look, here's the point. Google made the best free platform that ever existed for people, for all of us to enjoy. And whether you like business elites or the elites at Google, they still have that platform available. And small business has gone apeshit crazy because of it and done very, very well.
Right.
So hate them all you want, but that big show still exists and you participate in it. And I said, how much did they charge you? This was when I was still going off on it. I said, how much did they charge you for your Google business profile? This is ridiculous. And he said, well, nothing. I said, what? So this was after I'd done.
I wish I'd heard that. I wish I'd been in on
I wish
this
I'd
one.
recorded it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? They gave you a free platform? And those bastards won't get live people to spend thousands of dollars to tend to your free platform that makes you millions?
To investigate to see
To
if
investigate
that
the
review is
one
fake.
fake review?
Yeah.
I was like, do you see how ridiculous this is, Joe? I said, so if you're so tough, if it's so bad, if they screwed you so much, take your website down. Tell them to go F themselves and show them a lesson.
Go your own way.
Go your own way. Do it leave Google alone. I said, all they did was provide to you the greatest marketing platform for free that has ever existed in humanity. And they can't afford or don't want to pay the money.
They could afford it, but they don't want to
They
do
don't,
it.
yeah, they don't, I didn't correct my, they don't want to pay the money to give you free support for one fake review because you popped off at somebody in your industry and you're pissed about it and going to sue them? And I said, why don't you take the effort and energy that you're going to spend on that and actually get in the game better and get a website? And he's like, God, Nolan, thanks for this. I said, Joe, I kind of know the personality type. I mean, I'm a business guy too. You're mad about it, but nobody did anything bad and nothing's going to happen to you.
Right.
By the way.
That one bad review is not going to ruin you.
He actually put on there, he said, well, read my response. What do you think?
Oh, God.
He said, this isn't, at first it started out okay. This isn't my client. I don't know who they are. This is a false review trying to slander my company. Fine. And if it's not removed, I will sue you blind. And I'm like, let's tone down the last sentence.
Response?
Yeah.
Maintain professional demeanor on your review responses.
And he said, well, why? I said, well, Who wants to do business with a litigious HVAC contractor? That,
Yeah, these people that might have discounted the one bad review and said, well, he's got 75 good ones and
Right,
only
right.
one bad one. So this one bad one might be crazy. And then they look at your response, oh no, he's crazy.
right. I mean, 3 might be fake out of 75. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah,
five.
but I mean, if he's only got one
He
bad
had
one
one.
out
I
of
said, you
75,
got one.
that's like the preponderance of evidence says that the one bad one is false, or just somebody had a bad day, or somebody got the wrong company, or any of a number of things. But when the response is, I'm going to sue the largest company on earth.
No, he was going to sue the person who put up the review.
Oh, okay. Either way, it's
Almost worse. I will sue individuals that I come in contact with. Just so you fucking know.
For anybody thinking of using my services, if you don't give me a 5-star review, I'm going to sue your ass.
If 1-star show up here, oh boy, God.
Yeah.
Fisticuffs for you, buddy. And I know where you live. I put in your AC unit.
Yeah. And I have that conversation fairly frequently. As we'll get a client that somebody will give them a bad review. It happens to everybody.
Right.
You can't stop it. You're going to have somebody you can be the best at what you do, and there's going to be somebody unreasonable or who confuses your company with somebody else. We had a client once that got a bad review because they were working at a house and it was noisy, and the neighbor gave them a bad review for making noise.
That's happened multiple times.
And came out and cussed at them, and Google is not going to remove a review unless it contains threats of violence,
slanderous
or
remarks,
slanderous, like prejudiced, racist language, something like that.
Yeah. So
Otherwise, you're stuck with it, and your only recourse is to get more good reviews and bury it. That's it.
most people listening don't get any participation in the big show at all.
Right.
This guy got a smidgen of participation in the big show. He didn't even know that he was only 20% in, and he loved it.
Yeah.
In fact, I said, not only should you not sue them, you love Google. You love them so much you got 75 5-star reviews because you know it makes your money.
Right.
And how dare you? How dare you go up to them? And I'm like, that's my, and like, seriously, that is my attitude towards it. People on the other side, oh, screw that. They were fake review. In the whole scope of things, it doesn't matter at all.
Right.
This guy will always have a 4.8 or above star rating, always, unless he starts screwing over all of his customers.
Yeah, unless he keeps talking about suing people.
maybe.
I knocked on the guy's door. He threatened to sue me.
Yeah. So the
Cut him
point,
off in traffic. Threatened to sue me.
the point is, it's just, it's a great freaking place to be.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's so fantastic
We
that
call it the big show for a reason.
the big show. It's the big thing. He nearly lost his shit. I was like, go sue Google. They'll laugh at you. You're going to lose all your money. You know?
Spend all your money on a lawyer and get laughed at. That's what's
Why
gonna
don't you refocus all this energy and come get in with it? You barely show up, and you love it to the point that you focused on it. Made you so mad.
He was so,
Yeah.
like down deep where he didn't want to admit it. He knew how good it was for him. That's why the 1-star review made him so angry.
Yeah, I know.
It's because it was threatening that position.
I get
and
it.
he wasn't even he wasn't, like you said, he wasn't even in the big show yet. He just got a taste of it.
He was getting tastes of it.
Yeah.
And those tastes of it were all the little scraps he could get. And anybody not on the big show is eating little scraps.
Right.
This ain't cornbread and collards either. This is like this ain't good scrap food. That's country good scrap. You know what I'm talking about.
The stuff they ate because black-eyed peas and stuff that you ate that nobody else ate because it was the poor people food, but they turned it into an art form.
This ain't poor people food turned good. You're eating bad scraps.
Right.
You're eating bad shit. You're scrounging for plastic in a
dumpster diving.
in a dump. Yeah, somewhere in a third world country. That's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Nolan Walker here for Roofing Webmasters. I want you to consider becoming one of our clients. We've done this for 12 years, have hundreds of clients. We help everybody with their design, their code, their content, showing up on Google as high as possible. Clients get regular call volume. If you've never experienced what I call the big show, showing up on Google organically, which is where the vast majority of the clicks occur, on your map, your reputation, your reviews, your organic keyword ranking. You owe it to yourself to try us. We even have proprietary software that we own called data pens that lets you post pictures of jobs, unique captions that increase keywords and long-tail keywords, your rankings on Google, text and emailing clients about reviews, even posting pins and photos and captions back to Google. All this helps your organic rankings. Data pens is fantastic, and the work we do here at Roofing Webmasters is fantastic. Please give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. So this ain't the good stuff. This is you're getting scraps, and if you're not in the big show, your rate of return is horrible. Your return on investment dollar, you get hundreds of % less leads than you could have, and you're always looking and upset with the price you're paying for a lead or a click because it costs so much to go through the other
quality
people.
of the lead.
Which
sometimes
topic.
we don't even talk about, but it's a huge deal too.
Well,
and the
huge.
difference between people who have been in that state where they've never been in the big show and then they get into it, the change in their business and their life is profound. We've seen it over and over.
It is profound. I love that type of topic when it's life changing. So if people want to have a good life and they decide not to participate in the big show, if you don't think the big show is real, and some guys like ditch your site, dump it, screw them, and you could just he like you could feel it hitting.
Is he serious?
What the hell? I said, well, yeah. Why won't you sue? I mean, why wouldn't you take it off? I'm gonna sue him. Big talk. Why don't you just take shit down?
Yeah.
Big talk. You ain't gonna sue him. For one thing, I was like, you're talking big. I know you're not gonna sue him anyway. Just take your shit down if you're serious. Well,
I can't do that.
I can't do it. Why? Why? Because you make all your money there. How dare you talk about suing them? But yeah, that's how big the big show is. That guy isn't there yet in his head to be able to participate in it. And I will tell you too, we talked about this before, but people don't get in the big show because their headspace is wrong.
Right.
They don't think
100%.
They don't think that showing up there matters, even though all their competitors that are the biggest in town show up there. They don't think they can pay for it. They don't think they can do it. They think that there was some magical reason they got up there, that there's that life's weighted against them, that they just up there because, and none of that's true.
Or conspiracy. I talked to a guy the other day that believed that the reason the top guy was in the top spot is because he spent a lot on Google ads.
It's not
like he believed that because he had a high Google ad budget that it also cranked up his organic.
I get that all the time.
I mean, I get people thinking that, but it's not true because we have people with zero spent on PPC who get the top spot.
So just so people understand this point, it's not an illogical thought process. However, if this were true, they would get a federal class action lawsuit from the U.S. government. And
Google has been caught.
I said two lawsuits, but
favoring their own properties and doing stuff like that in the past. So it's not like you said, it's not illogical to think that something's up, but they would have a lot to lose if anything. Like if it ever came out and someone could conclusively prove that the organic top position is influenced by PPC ad buy,
right.
They would, like I said, they would get
either federal or class action.
They would get class actions. They would have a massive drop off in usage of their platform. The cost to them of doing that is higher than the reward.
Agreed. And just to explain that last point on that, because this doesn't happen with Google, they don't do this. If the platform lost its integrity, which means it was all payroll of bullshit,
right?
That's what he meant by a drop off in platform.
Yeah, sorry.
Everybody's going to go over to DuckDuckGo or Yahoo or
or
Bing,
any of the other
or somebody new will pop up.
Yeah, that's somebody new could pop up.
Yeah,
and this is one of those cases where you can actually rely on Google's greed to keep them on the straight and narrow.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah,
this is one of the times when greed actually serves
if they
a good
did
purpose.
this, they would screw themselves.
Right.
By the way, I'll segue just for a second. Have you heard that Apple is coming up with some of their own platform for search?
Yeah, I've heard some rumors on that. They had the Worldwide Developers Conference actually last week, and they talked about some stuff sort of related to that, but they didn't launch a search platform.
It acted like it was a minor inclusion on maybe a voice search type thing.
Yeah. Basically, they took the Spotlight search, which is the search technology built into all their devices. It's not necessarily a search engine, but a thing that collates search from multiple sources.
It could just easily slippery slope into...
Yeah, that's the thing. Knowing Apple, what they're going to do is they're going to keep iterating and adding to it, and eventually it'll be there.
It's one of few things Apple could do to make enough money on the effort.
Right.
Right, because they can only do moonshot money because they make so much money that there's only like 10 things they can do.
Yeah.
That are big enough, and I think search is big enough for them.
They got the things that we know about that they have in the works is probably that, and we know they're working on a car. But almost nobody knows anything about that other than they're working on a car.
Apple won't do stuff unless it's humongous money, because if they're going to go make $100 million, it's not enough money.
Right.
They've got to go make tens of billions, or else it's not big enough.
Right.
So at least, right? Or they're like, we can't touch that. That's small potatoes. So they could go into like...
We don't get out of bed for less than $1 billion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if they'd go into a category for $1 billion, right?
Probably not.
The category would have to be able to be worth tens of billions at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, interesting stuff. Nolan Walker here with Plumbing Webmasters. I'd like for you to consider becoming a client. You know, we have a lot of great people that work here at the company. We help hundreds of clients. We've done this for 12 years now. We help clients dominate online. We're a digital marketing agency. I honestly don't think there's anyone better than us at this point in time. We'll help you with your design, your code, your content. We'll help you rank on Google Maps. We'll help you reputation reviews organically. We even have proprietary software that I own in a different company called DataPins, D-A-T-A-P-I-N-S. DataPins allows you to post pictures of jobs with captions and geo coordinates right onto the website. It'll take 90 seconds. A 12-year-old could use it, but you'll be able to post daily and get daily activity, great content. It even posts it back to your Google account. It even texts and emails the client. So one simple thing where you pick a couple of photos you took, wrote a caption, put in the client's cell phone number and hit pin, and boom. And then that is in addition to all the other things that we do for you for SEO. We can also help with paid ads and other things too. But man, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. You can check us out at plumbingwebmasters.com. So other stuff on this, I guess if I had any takeaways for this, it's just you can participate in the big show. If you've never participated, you have no idea what you're losing out on. This is daily, regular call volume. This is where people search. This is where all the people you want to be like are. This guy wasn't for his life going to remove his Google account. So
You told
it was.
That's great that you told me.
It was like awesome. I know this was like I wish I'd have said this type thing to this conversation. I wasn't rude, by the way, at all. It was just tough love. Like you know, it was a good conversation, but I left nothing unturned on that. I walked away and was like, handled that shit. And I didn't sell anything.
Handled that guy. Didn't sell shit.
He wasn't. Someone in that headspace not ready.
No, absolutely not.
Not ready to buy.
Yeah.
He was wanting me to tell him, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of that shit. Screw Google."
We'll get rid of that bad review. I get those calls where clients gotten a bad review. They inevitably have had a phone call from somebody who called them and said, "We can get rid of that bad review for them." I'm like, well, number one, no, they can't.
Right.
I'm like, absolutely, that is a lie.
Right.
You know, it cannot be done. You can send to Google a request to have that review reviewed to see if they'll remove it. And unless it meets the criteria I said before, you're going to get back a form letter saying this review does not violate guidelines. And that's the end of the matter.
That's the end of it. No human, nobody.
Yeah, no, that was an algorithm looked for racist words, sexist words, and violent words.
Or horribly slanderous.
Or slanderous, and didn't see it and kicked it back.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, so I was on the phone call. I'll tell you this story. It's funny. I was on a phone call with someone. I think I told you this. I was so pissed off because I had moved and I couldn't get my freaking power wasn't turning on.
Oh yeah, I think.
And as an American citizen, to have to call somebody out of this country that's clearly not an American and give them the last
for a local service.
For a local service, it's my freaking power. I'm not only American. I'm freaking in Texas. Damn it. I'm in Texas. I'm extra American.
More American than other Americans.
So, I'm extra free, and I don't expect shit to happen like that. And so I'm calling Public Utility Commission. I call out of the country somebody clearly not American. And I said, are you from America? And they're like, no, sir, I'm not. And it's like, you don't understand what's happening here. And they're like, they will give me the last 4 digits of your social, and I can explain stuff to you. And I'm like, my head's about to roll off here.
That's when you needed to do the deep breath.
That's when I need to do the deep breaths. Like, yeah, but I forgot what the point was on this whole thing. I was talking about out of the country support and people.
You were talking about in Google. You're not even going to
not getting a phone call from anybody in this country. Yeah, but they don't even give us developing nation calls anymore from Google.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, they're like, I'm sorry, sir. This person apologized for the American company from themselves not being an American. And I'm like, how the hell does that apology help me at all? Like, you don't even know what it's like.
Apology does not turn my lights on.
You don't even know, like, what my freedoms are. What the hell? And she's like, just the same, sir, I apologize. And this is why I was telling you. I said, you probably aren't even an employee or get any benefits from them. In fact, they sub you out to another company so that they don't have to do all that crap. You don't even work for the company that you're representing. And I'm like, my head's going to explode.
And I'm sure this poor person on the other end of the phone is just like, what do I do?
I said,
this guy's crazy.
No, I said, all the same, I'm sorry for you. You're not American. You don't understand it. Pisses me off. You don't even work for that company. You can't apologize for them. You can't understand my position. I'm sorry for your position. Because from a humanity standpoint, it sucks. But freaking power's not on. So I called Public Utility Commission and made a stink. Public Utility Commission of Texas, which protects us against just big business overreach, basically, from utility.
Right.
Which, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, you can call them. They'll help you. They were great advocates for me. I called the city of Fort Worth, bitched at them. They called back after my power had already been turned on. And they're, sir, I'm from the city manager's office. Because I called city manager. It was like, city manager wants to know what they could do. I said, they can be ashamed of them damn selves. Is what they can do. I said, because freaking city of Fort Worth should have protected my ass. They said, well, they said this Encore. I said, they don't have sovereign power over the freaking electricity for their citizens? They give that shit up to some corporation, Encore, for my electrical grid? This is bullshit. I said we have our own grid, by the way, in Texas. And with ERCOT, Electronic Reliability Council of Texas, which got us smeared a couple of years ago with our, but anyway, we run our own shit. And I'm like, protect my ass, shame on you. He's like, well, what do you want me to do? Because she's going to take notes. I said, shame on his sorry ass. Shame on you.
But you're on a list somewhere, man.
I have been on a list before. I was angry at an airport one time, but I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything. I just got frisked for no reason. I was like, and then I got frisked every time for like 10 years. Every time.
Give this guy the works every time he comes in.
But I'll tell you this, for anybody who wants to be a client of ours, we'll fight for you. By God, we'll fight for you. We don't disrespect the hand that feeds us, though, as you can tell.
Right.
I may not agree with all global big business stuff that happens, but Google's fantastic for small business.
Absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic. And we abide by their policy, and we help you. But if something goes wrong with the Google business profile, all that, we handle all that stuff.
We do everything in our power to help you out.
Design, code, content, tons of it, regular work on GBP, speed, SSL, citations, all these little weird-ass changes, proprietary software in a different corporation that we own 100% of, it's not white labeled. DataPens is absolutely phenomenal. And I might add the best for HVAC. The best.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Parts, brands, situations, all kinds of crud that they can talk about in a caption and expand their keyword volume.
So, some of our best successes are in that category.
Crazy cool shit. Crazy cool show. DataPens, DATAPINS.com. All right, guys, if y'all want to become a client, we do all this stuff for you, and it is not as hard as you think. It is literally not as hard as you think. And I would venture to say, I definitely tell you that if you don't do this, the little bitty amount of work that you'd have to do, like get reviews on your end and partner with us, it's going to be way rougher on you.
Yeah.
Way rougher.
Way.
The road that you think is hard.
We are your ticket to the big show.
And the big show is where the easy ride is. You think that by avoiding that, it's going to be easier. It is rough to avoid it. It is a nasty place to be.
Rough and very expensive.
Rough and more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't ever go into that. We're in those organic leads are the cheapest ones you can get.
Cheapest and highest quality.
Yeah.
It's probably the only thing in your life where the higher quality thing will cost you less.
Yeah, I'm going to argue health. I'm going to argue health. I'm getting old, man. Don't get me started. You got to take care of yourself, Jason. Medical expenses cost way more. Don't go eat donuts every day.
Yeah.
You said life, bro.
Yeah.
You got my brain going through all the things.
Jesus.
All right, I think we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
We dig a deeper hole here.
Let's see.
Take it easy.